benefit from that.
They're trying to get you away from me.
Yes.
So I have to give one final one.
No problem.
The Auditor General's report on your ministry saying that $870 million worth of contracts were not properly reviewed by your procurement committee. Yeah? How do you plead? What happened?
I'll say two things. I'll say three things. I think people are very aware how our procurement systems operate now, and that procurement does not operate at the level of the minister, and that is on purpose. We structured our system in such a way to separate ministerial oversight and ministerial direction from procurement. And ministers are by law mandated to focus on things of policy. So a lot of the things that have come to bear in terms of, for example, a committee minutes not being supplied are news that would come to the minister for the first time. So I'll say that firstly, and I'll come back to that in the end. The second thing is, having discussed it with my technical team, and I'm sure they have prepared a response and would have disseminated a response. The Auditor General at no time said that $870 million was used for untoward purposes or went to contractors that were not bona fide, or that the money was misappropriated. What the Auditor General said is that she did not receive minutes for the procurement review meeting. Mm-hmm. What the ministry has said is twofold. In some instances, you are not required by law to have a procurement review meeting. Even though the Auditor General may have it in the guidelines, there is a law that supersedes that. And two, this was not last year. This was not the year before. This was in 2021, 2022, when we were in COVID, when the meetings were being held virtually, and that the ministry had indicated to the Auditor General that there were challenges retrieving the recordings from that virtual system, and have taken steps to retrieve those recordings as far as possible and to share them. So there was no malfeasance. And sometimes when these reports band about figures, it gives the impression that there is malfeasance or misappropriation that has not been said. The third matter that I find extremely curious is why in the reporting of this would a media house seek to put my image against a report that had absolutely nothing to do with my ministerial direction, absolutely had nothing to do with me as minister personally, that there was no reference to me or allegation in relation to me, and then they put it on social media, superimpose a title that says transparency compromise, to give the impression that the person in the headline image is connected to the compromisation of transparency, when that is not true. And I think that is unethical. And I think we have to look back at our tenets of journalism in this country. The factual context is that I was only minister for 4 months in that year that the audit refers to. But outside of that, these reports do not relate, refer, or engage with ministers. But there are some who want to give that impression to try and perpetuate the feeling that politicians are of a certain ilk. Some of them forget that we have lives before and after politics. There has never been, in my short but now longish political journey, any allegation about corruption or a lack of transparency, and those are things that I take extremely seriously. So I've written to the Gleaner about it, and I have asked my lawyers to review it, because I am very sure they will try and say, well, you are the minister. No, but the association that is given from the headline image being attached to the headline
suggests you were responsible ministerially at the time.
It is wrong. It is untrue, it is unethical, and it should not be done.
Floyd Green,